Hey everyone, it is Flynn Patrick once again, and in this video we will be releasing the number 82 player in the NBA for 2017-2018. I am super excited to be with you all today and to continue hashtag infinite rank as we are moving a little bit away from the role players and we're starting to get to the bigger name players finally, and I'm really excited about that. Also, if you haven't checked out our previous videos, we have videos for every single player that is ranked all the way back to 120. Make sure to check out that playlist. Anyways, let's get right to it. This player has been a staple of the Miami Heat franchise for a few years now. Let's get to it. The number 82 player in the NBA for 2017-2018 is going to be Hassan Whiteside of the Miami Heat. I would say a solid season for Mr. Whiteside overall. He averaged 14 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, and 2 blocks a game. Also averaged a career high 1 assist a game, and he also averaged a career high 70% from the free throw line. And there were just some downright nasty games for Mr. Whiteside this past season. In the season opener, he had 26 points and 22 rebounds versus the Orlando Magic. He had 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 blocks versus Milwaukee in January. There were 11 games this past season where Mr. Whiteside had at least 15 rebounds in a game. In terms of rebounding alone, I would say that it is pretty hard to argue that Mr. Whiteside is not a top 3 rebounder in the NBA. Fun player to watch. Extremely athletic and gifted, plays with a nice passion. So how in the world did Hassan Whiteside only finish 82nd on this list? Number 1 is durability. He did miss 28 games this past season, meaning he only played in about 60% of the games during the regular season. A fully healthy Mr. Whiteside likely finishes a lot higher on this list. And number 2, this is a big one. I want to emphasize that this ranking does include playoff performance. And in terms of this ranking including playoff performance, Mr. Whiteside was one of the players who was affected a lot by this ranking including the playoffs because he got absolutely shut down by the Philadelphia 76ers and Joel Embiid, to say the least. In 4 of the 5 games in that series, he was held to 5 points or less. He did have a decent 13.13 rebound game in Game 4, but every single other game, he was completely shut down. And for a player with a max contract in the playoffs, that is underwhelming. If this ranking included the regular season only, Hassan Whiteside would have finished higher on this list. And now that that playoff performance did happen, just from looking at the news a little bit, it seems that the trade talk pot is stirring up just a little bit, and there is just a tiny little bit of talk of him potentially being traded this offseason. We'll get to that. And finally, he did regress overall from the previous season. I would say the previous season, he was an unquestioned top 40, top 50 player. I would say even despite the playoff performance and just even when he was healthy, I would say that his play took a tiny bit of a step down from the previous season. So Mr. Whiteside is currently signed for 1 more season with a player option for the season after that. Right now he is getting paid in the $25 to $27 million range. I would say in terms of his current situation, he's worth about $20 million, so what he's getting paid is maybe a little higher than what I have his value at. That being said, I do believe that maybe the situation in Miami isn't the best right now to showcase Mr. Whiteside's full skill set, and I believe that a potential trade could put him in a situation where he would be happier and he would be able to showcase his skill set a little more. I will give an example. I think that Dallas, as long as they don't draft Mohamed Bamba 5th overall, could be a really good fit for him. And I think a good trade between those two teams would be maybe trading Hassan Whiteside for Harrison Barnes, just straight up. Both of these players could thrive in a change of scenery. And that's just one example, but the moral of the story is I think Hassan Whiteside is still a really talented player. He still is extremely gifted. I just think that maybe he needs to be in a different situation. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Flynn Patrick. We will be back with the number 81 player in the NBA for 2017-2018 shortly.